Hello guys and welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be putting together a build for you of a voice AI agent, and we're going to be doing it inside of Synthflow AI. And I'm using Synthflow because it's a really powerful tool, especially if you haven't done one of these before, to actually go ahead and get started in. So as long as you've got some basic technical knowledge, you can get one of these spun up for your own business pretty easily in probably about half an hour or so. And it's a good display to actually, if you've probably been hanging around on the fence looking at some of these voice AI agents and wondering what they can do, you're really talking about pretty powerful stuff. Installing one of these in your business, or multiple of these inside your business, you're probably looking at improvements in practically every single metric. Anyone who's putting these AI agents in their business now is probably making more money because you're not missing any phone calls, even when you're not on the job, or if you're on a job and you're not at work, you're going to have someone answering calls for you, giving customers information about services, prices, booking people in. You're automating repetitive work so you can go ahead and do more sort of high leverage work. It's probably going to save money as well if you're actually able to save on expenses, customer support, staff, and generally you're going to be increasing efficiency, freeing up your time or your staff's time to do sort of high leverage work. So it's a no-brainer getting these installed in your company, but a lot of people are kind of afraid of them. That's what we're doing here. Like I said, in about half an hour, we can spin something up which is going to be pretty powerful stuff. The possibilities of something like this type of technology is pretty endless. But this is some of the ways that people are putting them together now into products and simple use cases, 24/7 customer support, appointment scheduling, so you can actually book people in, reschedule appointments, around the clock support, lead qualification. If you run sort of recruitment companies or like a company which has leads that actually need qualifying, you can go ahead and set these up to qualify leads. You could do customer feedback forms. You could pretty much do a bunch of different things, but what we want really is to, and the reason I put this video together is really how to actually go ahead and get started on something like this. So like I said, about half an hour it'll probably take you to put this together, 45 minutes if you're a little bit slower. But at the end of it, you have something pretty powerful. If you're doing this for your own company, you'll have to swap out. You'll see when I actually put the information in for and I'm using a dental clinic as an example here, because it can be used in dentists, healthcare, any pretty much business that actually has high level of customer touch points. But if you do have your own information, put your own information in. So you'll see the part where I actually go ahead and add in the website information. You can go ahead and add in your own website information. All right, without further ado, let's jump into this. So the first thing we need to do is to go ahead and navigate to Synthflow, click on Get Started and create an account. Enter in an email address and then click on Continue with Email. And then go to your inbox, click on the Verify button. And once that's done, go ahead and set up a workspace. I'm just going to leave it as the default name of my workspace, click Continue. And then we'll be given a little questionnaire. I'm just going to go ahead and click Skip. And I'm going to click on Later. And here is the main dashboard here for creation of all of our resources. So down the left, we have our main functions. So we're going to be going inside and creating an assistant, but later on we'll set up a knowledge base to link to our assistant. There are other things here that we might need later, such as integrations. It allows us to connect to third-party APIs. All right, so let's go ahead and start by creating our first assistant. So we actually want to click on assistants. You have a few options. You'll browse templates. If you click on this, they'll give you a bunch of templates. And if you click on outbound and inbound, that's going to give you different options. So you've got some recipes that are actually created. Real estate, a few recruitment, car dealership, for example. You can have a look at the industries that are supported with these templates on the left. We're not going to be using this. I'm going to be clicking on Start from Scratch, which is going to allow us to build our assistant from the ground up. And so we get to actually choose the type of assistant. As we discussed, you can create an outbound assistant or an inbound assistant. For this particular project, we're going to be creating an inbound assistant. And this brings us to our first page here, where we're going to be setting up our assistant with its core configurations. And so it says here the first step is to customize your assistant according to your needs. And what we'll see here, just so things are not going to become too complicated, on the right hand side we'll see this test your assistant section. And what this does is it allows us to at any point to actually make a call to our assistant to actually test it with the whole flow. So this is something we'll come back to later on. At this point, we're just going to be focusing inside this configuration. You can go ahead and add an image. I'm not going to do this here, but it's optional. You're going to upload a photo within this recommended size to actually add some kind of avatar for your assistant. I'm going to be moving over to actually the name here, and this is going to be what kind of name your assistant will go by. And for this, I'm just going to call it Dental Assistant. So you could obviously just call it a particular name itself, but I like to actually, if you're going to have maybe a few agents doing different particular tasks for different phone lines, you want to really have the role of the assistant here inside of the name input box. The second thing we need to do is to actually choose language that our agent is going to be able to understand. And we've got Spanish, English, Portuguese, German, Italian, and Dutch. We also have within English, general, US or UK. I'm going to leave this as UK, and that's going to bring up this screen here, which is going to allow us to actually choose the voice we actually want. We can test any of these voices by clicking on the speaker on the right-hand side. So you can see some of these American voices.
Hey, you've called to company. How may I assist you today?
And you can test different types of accents. So this is Sonia UK, British accent.
Hey, you've called to company. How may I assist you today?
But what I'm actually going to do, because you can actually filter if you click on the gender button at the top by male or female. I'm going to come back to this in a little while so we can actually hear it say our greeting, and it's going to help us to actually choose the best voice accordingly. So here we have an option to choose the AI model, so opt for speed or depth to suit your assistant's role. Go ahead and choose one of the GPT voices. You've also got the built-in Synthflow LLM model. And this one is recommended, it's optimized for real-time AI voice chat. This one is actually beta, so let's go ahead and use the Synthflow LLM. And here is the custom greeting, and this is going to be the opening line that your assistant's going to open with once the inbound call is actually made. So that's the customer calling into our line and our assistant picking up. So at the minute, it's just the default. And all of these things like the grammar that we use really matter, as well as any of this punctuation, like a question mark here. So I'm just going to say a simple introduction here. Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How can I help? Again, you can customize this according to actually what's best within your particular location. So I'm just going to click on change here. It's going to bring us back these preset voices, and I can go ahead and choose. So I'm just going to be looking for British voices here. So I've got this Sonia UK. Let's go ahead and try this one.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
I have this Victoria voice here.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
And I also have this male voice.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
In the UK, we usually have female voices on dental counters, so I'm just going to choose something that the public will be used to hearing. So maybe something like this Victoria voice.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
But what I want to actually control the pace a little bit here, so I'm just going to throw in a comma here. Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group, and another one after group, and let's hear if that's actually any different. Let's go ahead and decide of here, and I'm going to use the Victoria voice here.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
And I quite like that, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to look at patience level. And what this really is to do with the speed in which the responses are given back from the AI agent. So we want it lower for rapid, that's faster exchanges, and higher for more focused turns with less crosstalk. With testing this, I've noticed that if you leave this a little bit lower, for this particular use case, there can be some issues in the exchange of speaking between yourself and the agent. So I'm just going to go for medium here, which will allow the agent to give us a little bit of time after we've spoken, just in case we actually might want to actually add something else at the end. It will leave 3 seconds before it actually offers a response. And the other thing we need to do is to actually add any business terms to improve the accuracy and recognition of the actual terms themselves. So within some of the products that are specific to the dental industry, might be something like the Invisalign product, and you're going to have to hit enter to actually get those in there. Some particular procedures, like an onlay procedure or an acrosem. So this will just allow you to actually enter these terms in here. So once the customers are actually using them, the AI is actually better at picking them up. And so here we actually have the ability to enable recording. So we're going to be toggling that on to record calls for playback and easy review in the logs. We're definitely leaving that on here. All right, so we've gone ahead and set up all of our configurations. You can click on next to navigate over to create your prompt. First of all, we want to actually go ahead and set up our actions. And if we hover this here, actions are plugins that enable the assistant to execute specific tasks or functions during or after the conversation. So it just extends the assistant's capabilities beyond its basic features of the voice interaction. And so what we're actually looking for here is going to be our real-time booking. So let's go ahead and click on that. And then it gives us an option of actually scheduling a booking with cal.com or Go High Level. So we're going to select cal.com. And this is now going to want us to pass in an API key and a Cal event ID. And so the API key really is just actually to authorize it to be able to communicate with cal.com. And the event ID is for the appointment settings for the events that we set up in cal.com. So here we are on the homepage of cal.com. And if you have an account, you can go ahead and log in. I'm just going to click on Get Started here to set up a new account. So you can go ahead and add your own username, email, and password if you want to log in that way. Alternatively, you can log in with OAuth. I'm just going to go ahead and click on Google here. I'm just going to continue. It's going to give me some kind of username. I'm just going to click on next step. It's going to ask to connect all your calendars. Go ahead and connect the actual calendars that you use for work, like Google or Outlook. I'm just going to click on I'll connect my calendar later. Same thing here to actually connect video apps. Again, set up later. Next step, finish for the sake of this now. All right, so once we're actually here on the dashboard of cal.com, we need to actually create an event to share for people to book on the calendar itself. So let's click on new, and I'm just going to call this here dental appointments, and then I'm going to set this for a duration of half an hour. Click on continue. We can already see that it's actually set this up for us. And so what we want really is two things. Again, we're going to need the API key and the event ID. Go to settings, API keys, and then we're going to click on add. I'm just going to call this one test. And then once you're actually given this key, just go ahead and copy the key and click done. Now I'm jumping back over to Synthflow. I'm just going to paste in this API key here. And the next thing we're going to need is this cal event ID. I'm just going to go back to our event types. I'm just going to click into our dental appointment event type. Once we're actually inside of this dental appointment, we can see that it's got event types / We want this whole set of numbers here between the / and the question mark. That is our event ID for this particular event. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. And now I'm just going to paste in that event ID into this section here. Click on next. The last thing you'll need to paste in an email address. I'm just going to go ahead and paste one in here. And then you'll choose your time zone that you'll be using for the appointments. And again, you can choose your meeting link. And here we have the message that will be used for any confirmation SMS messages. Your appointment has been scheduled for appointment_date. That's obviously the variable that the actual date of the appointment will be replaced with. Here is the link, and then it's going to give appointment link. These are inbuilt settings inside of Synthflow. If we scroll down a bit, we get some other settings here. So you have this initial booking date. This allows you to set a start date to book appointments from. So you can set it for today or tomorrow, for example, or any time beyond. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then you get these three options, which are quite important. So this is going to be to do with the interaction of the voice agents with the user on the phone. So first of all, we get the option to actually do the days for offering dates. And this is going to be the consecutive days that the assistant is allowed to actually go ahead and suggest dates for. So I'm going to leave this at 3 as a limit. And this one's going to be for the appointment slots per day. Again, it's going to be the assistant choosing how many appointments to offer the user. Do you want to give them 2 options to choose from, 3 options, or more than that? Again, the default here is 3. I'll leave it on 3. And then here we're going to have the gap time between the appointments, interval slots. And this is, from my experience, usually like an hours between the actual appointments. Here, I'm just going to leave this to say 2. Now it's going to go ahead and update that prompt for you. So you've got 10 a.m., 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. This is an advanced prompt. You can go ahead and edit it if you actually slide this slider over. But again, it says here that it's for advanced users only. And this is really being drilled into the actual functionality of Synthflow to actually go ahead and work well with their agents. So I wouldn't really touch this unless you know what you're doing. We'll have our opportunity to go ahead and create our actual prompt for our interaction a little bit later. So we can go ahead and press back, and that will take us back to our create your prompt screen. A knowledge base really is a way for us to add extra data to our specific agent, which enriches it, gives it specific data around our company, gives us specific company information, as well as particular information about prices and services to allow it to be able to interact with users efficiently. So we're going to click on knowledge base in the left pane here, and then we're going to click on get started. And we're just going to add a name in here. I'm just going to say something like dental services. And here we're just going to be able to create some trigger conditions for the actual search itself. So if the user actually asks for specific information about services, for example, in this case, and then we'll go ahead and click on create. And now we've actually created this knowledge base. We can go ahead now, click on the add button here in the right hand side of the screen, and then we get the option to actually add a file. It's going to be a PDF document, some text, so we can actually add in raw text itself. We can copy and paste content here, or we can go ahead and add in a URL. This is going to allow us to be able to simply pass in a URL, and it's going to load the text from that web page of the URL itself. So this is the one we're actually going to be using here. And then what we'll do is just one by one, we'd add in specific pages of our website website that we want to add information from. So I'm just going to add a few here. I'm going to say here teeth whitening, and I'm just going to paste in a URL. And let's just go over to URL of the one that we're actually using for this. We can see we've got home tooth whitening, in-chair tooth whitening, different prices, what this actually helps us to achieve, and just some more information about that, as well as some FAQs. I'll just go ahead and copy and paste that URL into the URL section here inside of our Synthflow input box. Then I'm going to click on upload to actually upload the data from that URL. And now we can see this teeth whitening URL link here. So now we can just go ahead and add as many of these as we need to for the data that we want to upload. So I'm just going to do one more here, and this one's just going to be for the Invisalign treatment. This is a very popular treatment now going around on social media. Paste in this URL. Clicking on upload again. And now we can see we've actually got loaded up all of the data on those pages. So we can now interact with that data within conversation with our voice agent. So let's create the conversational prompt by going back to Assistants, Dental Assistant, click on Add Knowledge Base here, and any knowledge bases you've created are going to be here. Dental Services, and it says here we suggest switching to GPT-4. So I'm just going to click on Switch to GPT-4, and then I'm going to click on Save. So here we actually have some kind of sample prompt actually being provided for us, but we want something a bit more custom. So I'm just going to click on Ask Copilot. And the good thing about this, instead of actually writing your own prompt, once you get a bit more experience, you'll be able to write your own from scratch. This is going to take us through how Synthflow itself actually works in the way that it actually wants us to create this prompt. All right, so we're going to go through this wizard like a conversation. So I'd like you to create an accurate performing prompt for my inbound AI assistant. Could you assist me? And it's now going to ask us inbound or outbound. It already knows it's inbound here. So let's confirm that our primary focus is on managing incoming calls. So what type of specific services or what type of specific objectives do you have for your inbound calls? And it allows us to actually add any unique objectives that we have in mind. So booking appointments, general inquiries, answering questions about services. So when we've done that, we'll just click on send, and then it'll just progressively build up this prompt for us. It says, great, we can create an inbound script that focuses on booking appointments, handling general inquiries, and answering questions about your services. Now it gives us the ability to actually create some foundational information gathering. So it's giving us 4 things that are useful to actually gather some foundational information about the business: company info, a brief description of your company and what it offers, target audience, value prop, and some information about the name and the role of the AI voice assistant. So we'll just go through and we can actually just put a number, say 1, and I'll say company info. Whereas it's Arctic Dental Group, we are a dental clinic. And I'm doing shift and enter, and I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to say target audience. We work with patients of all ages, adults and children. Then we're going to go to number 3. We have a great reputation of over 70 years of serving the local community. And I hit enter by accident, and we still need the agent information. So for that one, I'm just going to pass a name, say Victoria. I'm not sure if this was the name earlier. So this is going to be Victoria, and she's going to be a dental desk assistant. And then we're going to say send. You can see it actually guides us through this process and asks us to provide relevant information. So it's gathered this information. We're going to go to the next step, which is objection handling. So we need to plan for potential objections and how Victoria will handle them. Here are some common scenarios: concern about appointment availability, concern about services offered, insurance and payment queries, rescheduling, cancelling, requests for emergency appointments. So what it does is it actually gives us some default common objections and just allows you to actually add any more if you want to, or modify the ones that actually exist in here. So let's say these are okay and hit enter. Again, it gives us a basic structure here where it greets the call and introduces herself as the dental desk assistant, asks how she can assist them today, and then we can go ahead and see if they want to book a new appointment or reschedule for an existing one, collects necessary details, desired date, time, and reason for visit, provides next available appointment slots, confirm appointment details and repeat back to the caller, and offer to send a confirmation text or email with all the details. Identify the nature of the caller's inquiry, provide accurate information. For complex queries, offer to take a message and have a specialist return their call. And all of this can be hooked up to a CRM, like we said earlier, like Go High Level, for example, so you can actually record all of the transcripts and then have it in a pipeline that sets up one of the humans to actually go ahead, have a look through and see who actually wants a callback if the inquiry is a little bit more complex. So here we can go, and it's going to ask questions about services. If they ask any services that they're interested in, then they will go ahead and try and answer. Brief overview of the services, offer to email or text any detailed information, ask if they have any other questions. So it's giving sort of some basic objection handling. Instead of, you can go ahead and configure these one by one, but just says here some sample answers for those particular objections, and then summarizes the call and confirms any actions taken. So we can see here that we've got a full prompt. Where it says here prompt starts here, that's actually where the prompt actually goes ahead and starts, and then it goes in this particular order. So at the end, it's going to ask us, do you want to move forward with the final prompt, or do you want to provide more details? I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with the prompt and hit enter. Alright, so it's given us the final prompt here, and then we can go ahead and click on insert this prompt, and all it'll do is just replace anything that's actually in here with our actual prompt. And of course we can go in here, we can actually edit this in real time. So if you actually want to change anything like the name or target audience or any of these particular objection handling, you can go ahead and do that. Really, the prompt is the backbone of the performance of the actual assistant, which is actually backed up by the internal knowledge of the assistant, which is hidden from us. The only way to really see if this is working correctly is to obviously test it and just be able to get feedback in real time and then just adjust as you go along. So we're going to leave it as it is here. Here we are on the homepage of Twilio. So first thing we need to do is just click on start for free, and then we'll need to actually go ahead and create a Twilio account. I'm just going to sign up with Google here. And then we might need to actually do this two-factor authentication. We can see at the top here, it gives us a trial credits to actually use for our Twilio integration. It says here we'll need 3 things to start using Twilio with most third-party applications: an account SID and an auth token, and then you'll need a Twilio phone number. And if we actually just scroll down, we'll see in this account info section, it's generated this account SID for us, as well as this auth token. So you can use this copy button on the right-hand side of each just to do them one by one. So I've copied the account SID first. Now I'm going to head back over to Synthflow. Let's go ahead and jump into the integrations tab on the left pane here. And then you should be able to see the Twilio integration from third party. So we'll need to go ahead and put in this account SID. Let's go ahead and paste that in. And now we're going to need to get the auth token. So let's go back, and then we'll just grab the auth token by hitting the copy button on the right hand side. And then we're back inside of Synthflow, where we'll just go ahead and paste it into the auth token section here. Once you click off of that, you'll be able to save that. And now we can see the changes have actually been saved. Next thing we need to do is to go ahead and get a telephone number inside of the Twilio console. Click on the left pane here. We'll get the option of United States or Ireland. I'm going to click on United States, and then I'm going to click on phone numbers, manage, and then we can see here buy a number. I'm going to click on that. And all I'm going to do is just say capabilities, deselect all except for voice, put the country to US, hit search. I'm just going to go ahead and take the first one on the list here. And this is going to give us the monthly fee. So here it's actually just coming up to 90 pence or so per month. And again, that's in addition to any usage you incur on the telephone number itself. So obviously this is going to be minimal. You can go ahead and drop a number at any time you want to. So I'm just going to click on I agree to comply with the emergency calling terms and conditions, and click on buy this number. We're back now inside of Synthflow. Click on assistance. I'm going to open this up and click on select phone number. The number that we've actually configured is actually going to be in this drop-down selection. So let's go ahead and select that. And so now we just need to configure the details here, which will be of the actual customer themselves. So in this case, let's just say David. You'll need to actually put your own telephone number in here to actually simulate a call from the Twilio number to an actual real number, which is going to be your own number. Obviously in real life, this will be the other way around. You'll be calling into the assistant, or customer will be calling into the assistant, but here this is just for demonstration purposes. And now we have this button here which says call me. So now we're going to see if this is actually working successfully.
Hi, this is Arctic Dental Group. How may I help?
Hi, I'm just calling to see if you provide any Invisalign service.
Absolutely, we do offer Invisalign services. It's a great option for straightening teeth using nearly invisible custom-made aligners. Would you like to book a consultation, or perhaps you have some questions about the process?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what the price of that would be, please.
Sure thing. For Invisalign, we have 2 options. For milder cases, we offer Invisalign Lite, which costs £2,900. For more severe cases, we have Invisalign full price at £3,900. Would you like to know more about the process, or perhaps book a consultation?
Yeah, if you could tell me a little bit more about the process, please.
Invisalign works by using a series of custom-made aligners to be changed every 2 weeks. With each new set, your teeth gradually move towards their final projected position. The process starts with an initial evaluation, where we discuss your goals and take impressions and photographs of your teeth. We then use advanced computer technology to show you a 3D simulation of how your smile could look at the end of the treatment before you even start. It's a great way to see the potential results. Do you have any specific questions about it?
Yeah, just wondered if I can actually speak to someone about it before I decide whether I want to buy it or not.
Absolutely. We can arrange a consultation for you to discuss your needs and answer any questions you might have. Would you like me to find the next available slot for a consultation?
Yes, please, go ahead and do that.
Great. I have some available slots for a consultation. Would Thursday, Friday, or Monday work for you? We have openings at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 2 p.m. on these days.
Yeah, maybe we can try Friday. In the morning, maybe 10 a.m.?
Please wait a moment while I book your meeting. I've booked your consultation for 10 a.m. on Friday, August 16th. If you need to reschedule, please use the link in your email. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, that's perfect. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome, David. I'm glad I could help. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any more questions. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you at your consultation.
All right, great stuff. So we're able to see there by interacting with this particular voice agent, we can engage in a smooth, human-like conversation. So we can actually see the utility of this type of thing. And once you actually complete the call, on the right-hand side where the telephone details were, you'll see this call completed section, where you'll be able to either do a new call or just review some of the details from the call in question. First of all, it's going to give us this transcript. If you click that, then you'll see a full transcript of the actual call itself, just in a readable format. Then you've got the actual audio recording as well, and also you'll see this JSON. Inside of this actions, you'll see the actions that the voice AI agent actually took in the call. So you've got some JSON here for this get availability action, and then you've got this create booking action, and it gives us what actual response actually came back. And this is usable data, so you can actually go ahead, if you wanted to create a webhook to send this somewhere to actually get all this data or any part of this data, you can go ahead and do that with the option to actually send a webhook. You'll have an analysis here, which is quite cool. It'll just give you some details about the actual repetition, so you can see that the agent repeated the available slots for the consultation multiple times without new input from the user. No objections defined. We can also see the call summary here. The user called to inquire about the Invisalign services. The agent provided information about the options, explained the process, and successfully booked a consultation appointment for the user. It's really good stuff. So that's actually worked successfully. Just if you've had any issues with the Twilio integration, just ensure that your telephone number that you're trying to call, i.e. your real number, is within the list of verified phone numbers. Otherwise, you won't be able to make any calls to your number.